So now back to the other question, which was what is it that I find great or wonderful or joyous about mentoring?
Yes.
And what I would say that is all about is I love people first and foremost.
That shows.
And thank you. And I love for people to be able to actualize the highest and best of who it is that they are. And I've been blessed with an extraordinary gift to see the best that is in folks, to see the brilliance in them when they don't see it in themselves, to know the absolute truth of their divinity and their soulfulness and their magic and their majesty when they don't even have a clue that it exists. I've been blessed with the ability to see that, and my seeing of it means it's there within them. I'm not creating, I'm not making them that way. I see that, and so there is great joy in helping to bring people into a conscious awareness of their power, of their spiritual authority, of their divinity, of their light, and to see how their life begins to shift and change and transform as they become more and more aware of that truth and begin to make decisions about their life and in their living from that vantage point, from that greater truth, rather than from the false notions and false ideas they've been fed that they weren't enough, or they weren't good enough, or that they were the original sin, or there was something wrong with them, or so on, the litany of bull that people have been flagged with throughout their life that so many people believe and hold that has nothing to do with who and what they are. So I love helping to free people.
Food.
Yes, yeah. Stuff that didn't come from Lynn's kitchen, that's for sure.
That's right. No, to see someone's divinity, as you were saying, and that is the pinnacle of your emotional response to helping others.
Yes, and so it was like this. I'm blessed with this gift. And that is the gift to see people in the magic of who they really are. And there's no way in the world that I could be given that gift without also having the responsibility to help them see that in themselves.
Beautiful.
And then after helping them see that in themselves, to turn around and see someone like you, then go do the same thing and help other people to see that gifts within their life.
Then that is the living empowerment that we help others from a place of wonderment and joy.
And it's not all altruistic. Here's the secret in all of that. As I help, I'll keep it in the first person. As I help other people come to the awareness of their own divinity, as I help to mentor people to stand in their own spiritual authority and the gift of the power of the living spirit, living as them, it also empowers me. It also raises me up. It also kicks it up for me to the next level. Great. And so there is this other aspect of for lack of a better word, of a selfishness that is in this, because I certainly benefit. And then in our sharing, there are insights that they share that trigger other awarenesses within my own being. So it's always this profound exchange, like this cosmic dance that is taking place in the mentorship relationship.
Well, I just wanted to mention also, Reverend Nirvana, you had been telling me that you are also now mentoring other ministers and their ministries, so that you're really touching the spreading of this kind of consciousness even more now. Can you talk a minute about that?
Yeah, that's sort of like paying it forward. Is that how that statement is?
Yes.
And what that really comes from is, remember the first mentor I talked about was Dr. Homer Johnson.
Yes.
And if you can recall, one of the things that I said about Dr. Homer Johnson is he was the place that when ministers came into town, they made sure to make a B-way or leeway or however it is, a quick shot to wherever it was he was to have some time, to spend some time in counsel. And one of the things that he said to me when he was leaving, when he was passing, is that I'm passing that charge on to you.
Oh, wow.
There were a couple of things he said. One, there were 5 individuals who he called his boys. And that included me and Reverend Michael and Dr. Dan and a guy named Les and the other one's name, I'm drawing a blank on right now. But anyway, he called these his 5 boys that he kept in his prayers every single day, all of the time, for their ministries and for the greater unfoldment, because he felt that these were some people that were really going to be some movers and shakers in the world. And so as he was passing, he says, I pass that charge on to you, that you now are the charge with keeping the high watch for those individuals. He says, and the other thing is, I want you to always make yourself available to help other people, other ministers, other practitioners see the truth and step more powerfully into what it is that they are. So there was a sense that that was given as a charge, but even more so than that given as a charge, I felt that as a calling within my own being.
Right.
That there was a lot that I knew that I had been through. And so it really started when I was teaching classes in the School of Ministry. And I would say to some of those young students who were now graduating and were getting ready to come out and be ministers and take on their own ministries, I said to them, you may be out there in the world with your ministry in places where you may be the only one. Always know that you can call on me. You can give me a call at any time. I will drop what I'm doing and I will be available. No money involved in this. There's no charge to this. Just here to help support you through whatever challenges you may be facing in ministry and in your personal life as a result of that ministry.
Truly valuable.
Yeah.
Truly
and so that
valuable.
happened first with them, and then word began to move on to some other ministers, and they began to call me even though they had never been students of mine. So that has become a major portion of my ministry, which is mentoring other ministers, tutoring other ministers, supporting other ministers in their ministry and in their personal lives based upon the effect that the ministry, because ministry takes a toll on people's personal lives. It's really, as a minister, you don't have a personal life. Minister say personal life, what is that?
Right.
So it's like helping folks navigate through all of that has
Beautiful.
Become a
Yes.
ministry of my own.
That's beautiful and well needed, and truly a partner in believing for them. And so, thank you for that beautiful service that you're giving to the world, and for the charge that you're taking on, that is spreading, that is your torch that you're charging forth with to
Yes.
help the world. And now I was wondering if maybe you could speak a little bit about Nirvana. And here you are, it's 2014, and looking forward just a little bit, what's next for you? What do you think, if you could verbalize a vision that you hold for yourself or for the world